Ladies and gentlemen, is it a good idea to save a life? What about a million lives? What about 1.3 million lives every year? And is it a good idea to reduce the effects of pollution, climate change, and traffic that surrounds and harms us every day? If you answer yes to those questions, you agree with us that driverless vehicles are definitely a good idea. I will outline the incredible benefits to safety, while Jack will explain the benefits to the environment. Bosco will summarize our case. But first, some definitions. Cambridge says driverless vehicles are vehicles that do not have a human operator. And a good idea means something that should happen. I will start our case with our team line. If saving lives and improving the environment are good ideas, so are driverless vehicles. About 1.35 million people die in road accidents every year. According to the World Health Organization, road accidents are the #1 killer of children and young people under 30. They are our future. If things don't change, about 30 million deaths and 500 million injuries will happen on roads during the next decade. That's why the United Nations has made this the decade of action for road safety. The goal is to cut road deaths and injuries by 50% by the end of the decade. We believe that driverless vehicles are a powerful way to achieve this amazing goal, and we are not alone. The Department of Transport in the UK found that driverless vehicles could reduce the number of deaths by up to 94%. That's nearly 1.3 million lives that could be saved each year. How, you may ask? Simply by removing human error. Can you imagine a world with no drunk drivers, no tired and sleepy drivers, no angry and crazy drivers, and of course, no drivers checking Instagram and YouTube every 5 seconds? Finally, let's remember that good health and well-being is the key goal of UNESCO. So, let's help make that come true. Clearly, if saving lives and improving the environment are good ideas, so are driverless vehicles. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if saving life and improving the environment are good ideas, so are driverless vehicles. But first, a rebuttal. The negative things first speaker said, and I quote, driverless vehicles have put human life at risk. However, the evidence strongly indicates that the opposite is true. As Angus showed, driverless vehicles can reduce human error and save up to 1.3 million lives each year. What an amazing reduction of risk. Now, let's consider another UNESCO goal, responsible consumption and production. First, we would like you to remember this number, 90%. That is how much transportation energy will be saved in America if every vehicle there was driverless. What an incredibly responsible saving of money and a reduction of pollution. So, where does this 90% come from? The US Department of Transportation researched driverless vehicles found that people sharing private vehicles using smaller and lighter public transport vehicles have no waste from poor driving styles, have no waiting time without engines idling, and fewer wasted journey will lead to 90% less energy. How does that affect climate change? Did you know that more than a quarter of greenhouse gas emissions come from the transportation sector, according to through America's Environmental Protection Agency. Driverless vehicles will cut these emissions, showing that they are an excellent idea for dealing with climate change as well as meeting UNESCO goal of sustainable cities and communities. Driverless vehicles also meet UNESCO's aim of industry, innovation, and infrastructure development. How? Fewer cars per household and sharing cars will reduce the number of cars on the road, which will have powerful effects on traffic and city smoke. Indeed, researchers in Switzerland found that driverless vehicles can cut time wasted in traffic by more than half. Finally, please consider how that increased efficiency will lead to less spaces of road and parking, and more green space, more playground, and more public parks. So, a better quality of life. Bravo! Ladies and gentlemen, these facts are fabulous. Driverless vehicles are undoubtedly a good idea for the planet. They will bring cleaner air and more green spaces to our cities. They are truly a good idea. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before summarizing our case, please allow me to address an argument of the negative team. The second speaker said, drivers might take less care to avoid crashing into driverless vehicles, especially if they have no passengers. However, even if that were to be true, I would strongly doubt that people will choose to be less careful when they drive. It cannot possibly outweigh the benefits of driverless vehicles. The benefits to saving lives and helping the environment are simply astounding, as Angus and Jack showed. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, let's remember those benefits that we have detailed. Our team line summarizes that if saving lives and improving the environment are good ideas, so are driverless vehicles. Angus presented hard evidence about UNESCO goals of good health and well-being. Switching to driverless vehicles could save 1.3 million lives and decrease 15 million injuries around the world every year. That's a 94% reduction according to the Department of Transport in the UK. Jack, simply by removing human error, we can have a world without drivers who are drunk, tired, sleepy, angry, crazy, or checking Instagram oil and YouTube every 5 seconds. So, let's help the aims of UNESCO plus the United Nations Decade of Action for Road Safety. Jack laid out the benefits to the environment and how driverless vehicles will meet many other UNESCO goals. For example, sustainable cities and communities, as 90% of the energy used for transportation will be saved, cutting pollution, thus reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Remember that more than a quarter of all those emissions come from transportation. In addition, Jack showed how researchers in Switzerland find that driverless vehicles can cut time wasted in traffic by more than half. What does all that increased efficiency mean? Less space for roads and parking, and more green space, more public parks, more playgrounds. So, a better quality of life, like Jack said. Bravo! In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, let's remember these two numbers. 94% of life saved, 90% of transportation energy saved. Could the awesome advantage come to be true? Saving lives and improving the environment are possible. UNESCO knows the importance of sustainable development, and now you also know how driverless vehicles help to achieve this goal. Join us and make this come true. Thank you.